Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Justin and I teach engineering here at EIS. And for today's video, we'll actually be designing your own paper airplanes. But first, before we do that, we have to understand a very important concept called aerodynamics. Aerodynamics is the study of moving air. Specifically, for today's video, it's the study of moving air and its interaction with solid bodies. So let's actually take a look at how that works. So I actually have a very cool friend here. His name is Speedy, and we're going to actually see aerodynamics in work. So aerodynamics relies on four very important forces. Now this allows for our airplanes to stay in the air. Okay, so first one is lift. So this allows for our planes to be able to take off and actually stay in the air, okay, via our wings. And then we have the opposite force, which is the weight. So the weight is the force of gravity acting on an object. Then we have our drag. So drag is actually the opposite of our thrust. So I'll talk about thrust in a second, but drag is the resistance provided by the air as we're moving in this direction provided by our thrust, which is provided by, for instance, our propellers and our engines of our plane. So now that we understood a little bit about aerodynamics, let's go ahead and do something fun and actually build our own airplanes. You all ready? Okay. So first you'll need 2 sheets of paper, okay? And first, you can choose whatever color. Usually it's best to have different colors, like I have here. Okay, so we'll be actually making a dart and a glider plane. So first, we'll start off with our dart plane. So you'll take your sheet of paper, okay, and you're going to fold long way. Okay, so I'm going to actually turn the paper like that. That way you can see it in half. Okay, make sure there's a good crease. Then you're going to open up your plane like that. Now, this is where we're going to start creating different shapes. So here, we're going to actually create 2 small triangles. So remember we folded in half. We're going to fold now towards our center line. Okay, that's created. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Now we're going to make 2 more triangles. This time it's going to be a bit larger. Okay, so the best option is actually to take from one of the corners of your triangles. Okay, and you're going to take it right towards the center line. Okay, see that? Okay, same on the other side. And you have 2 larger triangles on top of your smaller triangles. Okay, see that? All right. Now, what you're going to do next is actually just very simply fold your airplane in half. Okay. And then after that, the most important part, and I briefly discussed this, is the wings. So what you're going to do is that you're just going to fold, see, just along your edge here. Just going to fold down, create your wings, and you're going to do the same on the opposite side. So I'm just going to flip that, and then I'm folding along this edge, create our dart. You may be wondering why they call it a dart. Well, as you can see here, very pointed edge there. Okay, so now we have our first plane, which is our dart. So go ahead and set that aside because now we're going to start on our next plane, which is our glider. So similar to our dart, okay, we're going to start by folding this in half, long way. Okay, nice crease. And open it up. Now what's going to be different with the dart plane in terms of our folding process is now we're going to fold down. Not all the way down or not halfway down. Approximately 2 inches. Okay, approximate that there. Okay, and then we're going to fold on top of that. Okay, so it's going to be like a thick rectangle. Okay, so we're going to fold on top of that. See that? And then we're going to fold one more time on top of that. Okay. Our thick part of our plane. And this is actually what we're going to be using to hold our plane. Okay. So after that, now you're going to actually just rotate your paper. Okay. And then you're just going to flip it over so that you don't see that thick rectangle. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to make, similar to the dart plane, 2 triangles towards your center line. See that? So I'm just going to fold it. Okay, might take a little bit of time because we just folded this, okay? All right, just work with it. See that? All right. Okay. And then for our next step, what you're going to do is that you're just going to simply fold it in half. Okay. So you see that? So our thick layer, right, that we just created earlier is out. Okay. And then after that, remember our important aspect that we need for our planes are, of course, our wings. So what you're going to do is that you're going to use this edge, actually just fold it over. Okay. So let that be your guide. So let this edge be your guide and you fold it over. Okay. All right. Put some more on the other side. Okay. And see that there? Now, you might want to make some minor adjustments with your glider. So we're actually just going to add these here, top of our wings, help it glide a little better. Okay. So I'm going to bring back up the dart. And so first, before we start doing our testing, okay, I can't wait to start testing. We want to take a look at both planes and see if there's similarities or obvious differences. And then also you want to make your predictions on which one will fly. Basically you'll say like, oh, which one will fly farther, or how they would fly, how they interact with the air, because remember we were talking about aerodynamics. Okay, so before you start testing, make sure your flight path is clear. Okay, make sure there's no one around to get in the way, no heavy objects or anything blocking your path. Okay, so it's very important to do that. Okay, and then once you're ready, you can go ahead and start launching. Okay, so remember our thrust, what we just talked about, is going to be provided by our hands. Okay, all right, so hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I definitely enjoyed today, and hopefully you learned something new, and I'll see you next time.